Hey guys, I am Leo with DualSim.us, and today I have for you an unboxing and a quick review of this blue R1 HD Prime Edition. So this phone costs only $59 with a $50 credit for Amazon Prime members. In return you get Amazon ads on the lock screen and a bunch of Amazon apps pre-installed, and you cannot remove them unless you root. The good thing is this phone can now be rooted, but we'll talk about that later. So let's go ahead and take a look at this phone. Okay, so let's take a look at the box. To save us all time, I already took out this phone and set it up so we don't waste time going through that process. But while we're doing it, let's look at what's inside the box. Now, as I said, this is an Amazon Prime Edition, and maybe that's the reason why the packaging is super poor. So basically what you get with the phone is this 1 amp charger, a micro USB cable, and a bunch of instructions. So nobody reads them, you don't care. And here are the specs. Again, as I said, this is a $59 version. I upgraded, paid $10 more to get 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, and I highly recommend if you get this phone, you actually go for a more expensive version, because there is never enough RAM or storage with these phones. So it's a 4G LTE, 5-inch. So they say it's a curved display, and that's not true. It is a display with a curved glass, but display is flat. So quad-core 1.3-inch, 8 megapixel camera. We'll go over the camera. This is a dual SIM phone with Android 6.0 Marshmallow and has a 5 megapixel selfie camera. So let's take a look at the phone itself. Here it is. And first, the curved glass. As you can see, it's curved on the edge. So it's pretty nice to the touch. And but the screen itself is not curved by any means. The margins are not super bad. You have this blue logo on the front. So this is your camera, a proximity sensor, and LED flash for the front camera. So on the back you have an 8 megapixel camera. I'll show you the quality of it. A flash and a pretty nice speaker right here. I can't complain about it. Alright, so the edges are plastic, but they're pretty nice. The phone is pretty light. It's nice to hold it. It doesn't slide out easily. So the back is this soft rubberish plastic. It does attract all the dirt and fats and sweat from your hands, but it's not difficult to clean. So let's pop the back cover. Alright, so on the back we have our 2 SIM card slots. As I said, this is a dual SIM phone. Now this will work on AT&T and T-Mobile, as well as all the smaller carriers that suck off the T-Mobile and AT&T network, such as Cricket, MetroPCS, StraightTalk, Net 10, and all those guys. Alright, so here you have your micro SD card, a 2500 milliamp hour battery right there, and the camera itself. So here's your volume rocker and the power button on the right side, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a micro USB charger with a microphone on the bottom. So there is no top microphone for noise cancelling. That's unfortunate. Alright, that's enough with the hardware. Actually, it's not. Let me show you something, how to take out the SIM cards, because it took me a little bit of time to figure this out. So to open the SIM cards, as you can see, they're recessed inside the plastic. So to get your SIM card in there, what you do is you push this metal clip up, open it, and remove your SIM card and put it back. Now over here I have my nano SIM, so I'm not gonna do that, but it's actually pretty easy to put it in there, and you don't even need the adapter. Alright, so let's put the cover on and look at the phone itself. Alright, so as I said, this is an Amazon sponsored version of the phone. So you have your Amazon ads on the lock screen, and they change from time to time. Sometimes they're just a small notification, sometimes it's a full screen ad. So we open it, there is a bunch of Amazon apps preloaded. I'll show you. I've counted 9 Amazon apps on this phone, so 4, 4, and 1. Maybe there is more, but as I said in the beginning, if you root this phone, there is now a root available on XDA Developers. I'll actually make a video how to do it. But if you root this phone, you can remove all the Amazon crap and the ads. And to be honest with you, I've used this phone for a couple of days now, and in the beginning I was okay with the Amazon apps, but then it gets pretty annoying seeing them all the time. Alright, so let's go through the settings. It's a pretty vanilla, pretty stock Android version with just Amazon upgrades, so nothing from Blue that they used to put in their previous versions of the phones, except for the camera. I actually really like the camera app, but as you can see, it's Android 6.0 security patch from June 1st. I already installed the over-the-air update. I didn't realize that that could screw up my chances of rooting, but from what I hear, I am okay and it will still root. It has some basic apps for you, bunch of Google apps, and let's move on to the camera. So what I like about the camera on this phone is that they've changed how it works. Now you can start recording by just pressing this button. It records, and they also added a feature to pause the video recording. So the only thing I'm missing right now is the ability to turn on and turn off the flash during recording. So I hope they fix that. But compared to their previous versions of camera apps, this is pretty convenient and I like how it functions. So we stop it. All your controls are right here. As I said, the camera is 8 megapixels and a video recording is up to 1080p. Pretty nice. There is no hardware image stabilization, which is unfortunate, but the overall camera quality is okay, but it's not a great camera by any means. So I took a picture of my daughter close up, and the image was not sharp as I would expect from a high-end phone. But here you can see the leaves come out pretty okay. It's not super grainy, and it's, you know, it's okay to take just regular pictures, but it's not a DSLR by any means. And the camera is not super great, but it's okay. Alright, so dual SIM function. You can switch the primary data SIM card by going into settings, then SIM cards, and here you can change the data from SIM 1 to SIM 2. So right now, as you can see, my data is on SIM card 1. Let's switch to SIM card 2. But here is a glitch that I found. So when you switch them, so you see the data connection goes off, in a few seconds it will come back on, but your data will not be enabled. So you have to manually go into data settings and enable data. This is pretty annoying. I am used to it working by default without me having to go and do this manually. So as you can see, there's no data. Now I have to go to data usage, T-Mobile 2, and turn data on, and now we have LTE signal. Okay, so let's do a speed test. So we're not in the fastest area as far as LTE speeds go, but it is pretty okay here. And LTE speeds are good on both SIM cards. So some people have complained that SIM card 2 is pretty slow. As you can see, I get 30 megabits per second down, even more, almost 35. And about 8 to 10 upload speed. Okay, now let's take a look at speakerphone quality and loudness. So
T-Mobile. To make a payment, say payment or press 1. For help with troubleshooting network or handset related issues, say troubleshoot or press 2. Or simply stay on the line and I'll get you over to a representative who can help.
Alright, as you can see, the speakerphone is pretty loud. It's not super loud by any means, but it's good enough. And the reason why I'm talking about that is I've recently reviewed a Blue Vivo XL phone, and the speakerphone on that phone is just horrible. You hear the crackling noise and vibrations, and it's just terrible. Alright, so next thing is the screen. As I mentioned, it's not a curved screen at all. It is a curved glass right there, so your viewing angles are pretty good. And the screen is super bright, guys. This is a very important thing to me. Now I know some of you use automatic screen brightness, but I always try to keep the screen brightness on max, because the dark screen, they ruin your eyesight, and it's just not a good thing. So here is a Blue Studio Energy 2 phone, and as you can see, the screen on that phone, so this here is a AMOLED screen, I believe from Samsung, but for some reason it is very dark. Side by side, as you can see, this phone R1 HD is much brighter and much whiter, so it's much more realistic screen. And as I said, in the sun it's actually very bright. It doesn't glare, it doesn't get dark in the direct sunlight, so very good screen. I am overall happy with this phone. So I'm not sure if this is Gorilla Glass or not, but I already managed to scratch this glass a little bit. It's a pretty deep scratch, and I had my keys in the pocket and the phone there, so I managed to scratch it. That's a shame, but overall, so my experience with this phone, guys, I've used it for 2-3 days now. It's pretty good. Performance of the quad-core CPU is very good. I don't play games, but for an everyday use, it's really nice. Now, data connection, sometimes this phone is actually less sensitive in bad areas, so you lose signal faster in poor reception areas versus this phone. For some reason, the modem on this one is better in a poor signal area, but overall, it's very good speed, very good connection, good call quality, and for a $60 phone, it's really nice. Now, it's a budget phone, so you don't get tap on screen, you don't have the fingerprint scanner, but for a $60 phone, it's really nice. And now, since you can root it, you can get rid of Amazon crap in your face and use this phone as your primary or as your secondary phone. It's up to you if you like high-end phones or just whatever to make phone calls and check internet, Facebook, and whatever. So far, I'm pretty happy with this phone. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a fingerprint scanner, something that's really important to me after using it. I got used to it, it's very convenient, but overall, I do recommend it for people with a budget who want a very inexpensive phone that actually works pretty well. Alright, so thank you for watching. I will do a full review of this phone soon. I will also do a gaming review, so stay tuned, come back. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment in the section below, and I'll see you later.